Is this working? Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm live. Waiting for a chat message to roll in. Let's draw something. Okay, looks like it's live. Hello! Alright, yes, alright, everything's working. Sorry, I stream infrequently enough that every single time that I stream something, I have to, like, make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. Because there's a good chance that I'm not doing something correctly. You guys can hear me, right? Like, I'm audible. I think there's a bit of latency, so I have to, like, see. I have to wait a moment first to get an answer to that. Oh my god. Hold on. Is there a way to turn that auto-translate option off? Because those messages for me get translated as of. And that's annoying. What? I don't. The ya was actually useful information, and now it's being automatically translated to of, which is useless garbage noise. That's so annoying. Is there any way I can, like, turn off automatic translation in the chat? Because. Because the translation sucks. Well, maybe I'll figure that out later. Anyways, we have some things to talk about. In the top right corner, I've put text that says stuff, but, you know. Let's talk about BFO. This includes Daily Dose 8's pre-release / cut content, and I will try to answer any questions as I see them. That doesn't necessarily have to be questions about Daily Dose scrapped content. I'm fine talking about all sorts of things BFO related here, or otherwise relating to the channel. But it's the primary point of this stream is to talk about all the cut content for Daily Dose and stuff. I have MS Paint open kind of as a default window here, because I'll be going into the Google Doc for the old version of the script, and also maybe some other windows too, but I'm able to draw on MS Paint, so I'm able to, you know, do something visual on the stream as I'm talking when I don't have anything directly to show for the time being. So, yeah. Is Pain and Suffering canon? I genuinely don't know. Like, I think, I mean, it doesn't, like, really make sense for it to be canon, because Forrest Uncle Craig is, kind of possessed during Daily Dose, and, like, unless it takes place at a different point than when it came out, that means, like, it can't happen, because Daily Dose, it came out during Daily Dose, and so I guess maybe, yeah, it is canon, but it takes place at a point I don't know, but I guess that's up to the viewers to decide, unless something later confirms things one way or another, but I doubt that's going to happen. We'll see, I guess. Let's see. Who are the top 3 most powerful characters in the entire BFO universe? Okay. Since I'm just answering questions right now, I'll put big text at the bottom saying pre-show Q&A exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Okay. All right. So the top 3 most powerful characters. That's a tricky question to answer because BFO power scaling never made any sense because it's all just pretty random and arbitrary. But I think, first of all, the most important thing is that the most powerful character is probably just For's Uncle Craig. So let's put him down here. I'll just so most For's Uncle Craig, because the Doctorb, let's just most powerful. The Doctorb says, and this is the line of logic I've always followed when making the episodes, that that For's Uncle Craig is kind of just able to do anything. He's just either stupid and doesn't realize it or doesn't care. So he's really lazy anyways. So I think he's technically the most powerful character, but is held back by him being either stupid or lazy. And that is unclear between the two. Then second place is probably just Macaroni, because he has in BFOA 8, he talks about having god powers or admin powers or something like that. I think he only got those after becoming a host, but I'm not sure. And so he's probably also similarly powerful. He can do stuff. And then number 3, I don't know after that. I mean, Noodle also says she has admin powers, that Macaroni's not special, but I mean, I don't know. They don't seem to be able to do much to each other in that episode, but also she's kind of pathetic and weird, and she doesn't really seem all that capable. So instead, I'm gonna say like maybe Mr. E or Bad Brain. I like the idea that Bad Brain is just like weirdly capable of doing things. He's just also the worst guy ever, maybe. But I don't know. I don't have a good answer for number 3. So let's just write down Bad Brain. And then put a question mark. Oh, wait. Aren't we forgetting someone important? Profiler's Uncle Steven. He's kind of, like, nearly unkillable. And, also is always there the whole time, everywhere. Okay. Alright, sorry. That question took a while to answer. Let me try to catch up to chat. Will there be any more BFO content? Right now? Yes, absolutely. So we still have at minimum, so let me write this down. At minimum, we have 2 episodes left. Because the intention was always for Daily Dose to be a bit of a detour for BFOA. I mean, even the daily seasons. So we still have BFOA 9 and BFOA 10. Sorry if you don't care about BFOA. Obviously, I know the daily seasons get more viewers than BFOA, so I expect at least a handful of people in chat have not seen BFOA, and that's fine. I mean, the first couple of episodes are unwatchable, and I recognize this. But at minimum, BFOA 10, or BFOA 9 and BFOA 10 are going to happen. After that, I don't know for certain. There's another project in the works that's pretty similar to a daily season. But I don't want to reveal too much about that because I don't have confirmation that that's absolutely going to happen. We'll have to see. And yeah, so were there any contestants scrapped from any of the BFO seasons or spin-offs that you want to share? I think so, yeah. So first of all, importantly, for Daily Dose, there were a lot of recommended characters that we got that could have been in the show, obviously. That's a bit of a cheap answer, but in particular, there was a character there were two characters who were really close to making it in instead of Pop-Tart, because Pop-Tart got in on the slot, that was like, I pick a character, where there were three slots. One of them was I pick a character, one of them was the recommendation with the most likes, and one of them was the recommendation with the most comments. So I picked Pop-Tart to be in the show, but Cowboy Hat, I'm kind of just vaguely remembering what they looked like. This is probably not accurate. Cowboy Hat was one that was really close. Their video's still up. And then the Itsy Bitsy Spider was also one that was really, really, really close to making it in. I'm also guessing what they looked like because I don't really remember very well. Both of those were recommendations that got really, really close to making it in the show. I just ended up choosing Pop-Tart because I thought he had more potential to be fun with the other characters. I don't think Itsy Bitsy Spider had a mouth. I don't remember. So, rest in peace to these fallen BFO characters. When we were designing the cast for BFO, I don't know, that sounded like I was going to continue that sentence fragment. But when we were designing the cast for BFOA, originally the idea was going to be that all of the BFOA contestants are, alternate versions of the Season 1 contestants. So you have Macaroni, in Season 1, and then you have Noodle, who's like... The thing with Macaroni is he's played by Domo823, so, Noodle was like my take on Macaroni instead. And then you have Ball 8, and that's Domo's take on 8-Ball. And we were going to continue this for every other character as well. Like, what's the counterpart to Oil? What's the counterpart to Text on Asset? What's the counterpart to Blushing Emoji? Which would have been actually a weird case because this, would have actually drastically changed the trajectory for Blushing Emoji because at that point, Blushing Emoji was voiced by Domo. So a Blushing, if we had done that, then that would have been my answer to Blushing Emoji, and therefore the Blushing Emoji that we know today wouldn't exist. It would just be this alternative version of the character, and I don't even know what that would look like because we never got that far before we decided to scrap this idea because it was kind of stupid. Where we just did Noodle and we did Ball 8, and then the rest of the characters were just new guys. And I say new guys in very large quotes because we're talking about Electric Blocky and Cody from Total Drama Island with Object Show Face and Limb Assets, so maybe what we ended up with wasn't really much better. Or maybe it was worse. Who knows? And yeah. There were probably more ideas. I mean, White Hole was originally going to be up for debut in Holidaily, but we decided that instead we were just going to keep it to the 3. And I say we because I was deciding this with nobody, the guy who helped me come up with the daily seasons in the first place. And also, there were a lot of pitches that nobody made for reviewers for Daily Dose, but we decided, or I decided, specifically Pop Heart, Blushing Emoji's clone, and Horn were the ones that I'd picked. I think at a previous point, all of the scrapped reviewers have been shown publicly, but at some point in this stream, I'll probably show them off all again because it's very relevant to what the actual, content of the stream is going to be about once we're done with this little pre-show Q&A. Okay. Sorry, that was also a really long-winded answer. Let's see. 8-Ball, how else has he been in other shows? I don't know. Will Mr. E ever appear again? I don't know. Will the BFO Daily Stash stay a trilogy? Probably yes. Again, just BFOA is currently planned to be finished. There are no specific plans from me to do another BFO season at the moment. Also, I kind of like how the daily series right now is a trilogy because, like, in season 1, we have a rejoin. In season 2, we have a debut. And so season 3 is like the combination of those two ideas into a review. And that feels perfect. As well as the fact that season 1 has Alfonso place second, and then season 2 has 200 and what was it, 44 votes, I think, and then in the finale, and then season 3's finale has both of these things. Alfonso places second, and we got the same amount of votes as the Holidaily finale. And that's kind of perfect. So I like how these work as a trilogy. Well, if we did another season, maybe I would consider Cowboy Hat and Itsy Bitsy Spider as new contestants. That might be cool, but nothing is set in stone. Any tips for people trying to start their first object show? Well, I actually made an hour-long ramble video about that on my second channel, Funkle Slop. I have an hour-long video where I was just rambling. Here is what I would say to... I don't know how much of it is useful. It has like a few thousand views, but a bunch of people have came up to me and been like, wait, you actually really helped me make my first object show. So maybe it is worth something. And yeah. But to keep it brief, so that you don't have to go watch an hour-long video, start small. Start really small. And keep it approachable. You're not going to make something perfect on your first object show. You're not going to make something perfect on your first project. So it's okay if it's not great. Just make something. Because making stuff makes you a lot better at making stuff. You don't want to wait for the perfect iron to strike, or the perfect moment to strike when the iron is hot. You just want to make stuff. Please make stuff. That's my biggest word of advice. Make stuff, even if it's not very good. Because that'll make you much better at making things that are good, even when you don't think so. What if BFO had teams forever? That'd be crazy, I guess. I don't know how to answer that. I guess that'd be crazy. And then how the uncle versions of characters and profile jokes came into the show. Okay, so this is the two-step answer. So uncle versions, so if it hasn't become extremely very, very evident by now, the funniest thing ever to me, maybe, is alternative versions of BFDI characters. BFDI characters being outside of BFDI, especially. And so, when we were doing Buffed Cow, that is Battle for the Corpse of Woody, literally just a one-episode show Domo and I made like, literally, like, a day or two before making BFO. It's just a bunch of dead object characters. So then, the next day, I popped open Flash and just, like, drew for Uncle Craig and was like, okay, this is for his Uncle Bob. This is the new host of the new object show. And then we forgot the name partway through the call, and I was like, what was his name? For his Uncle, what, Craig? And yeah, that just stuck. And so For his Uncle Craig exists. And then, like, I don't know, it just seemed natural to then make other uncles there, because, like, what's inside For his Uncle Craig can't just be the exit, like, for 4. It's gotta be the exit's uncle, because, you know, you have uncle as an adjective applied to For his Uncle Craig, so you gotta also apply that to the exit, so it's the exit's Uncle Timothy. And then that spurred on X's Uncle John, the counterpart to For his Uncle Craig, or I guess the counterpart to X, the same way that For his Uncle Craig is the counterpart to 4. But I was like, well, if X and 4 are best friends, then X's uncle should hate 4's uncle, because, you know, it's a crazy subversion, I guess. And then, you know, BFB 26 came out around the time of BFOA 2-ish, and, like, so Scabbit suggested Profile his Uncle Stephen, and I'm like, okay, this season we're doing guest star people, like, we're bringing on, you know, people that I know to play characters in the show. You can be Profile his Uncle Stephen for the show. And then his Profile his Uncle Stephen was just really fun to work with for BFOA 3, and we just wanted to keep him on the show. And he's a much more extreme version of Profile, where Profile is like, I was on BFDI the whole time. Profile his Uncle Stephen instead is like, you know the, like, everything? I was there the whole time. I was there for all of it. Every single thing ever I was there for. And I think that's a really fun angle, where it's just so extreme and so stupid. It's so reality bending. And he's just like this stupid omnipotent character who just, like, everyone kind of has to play around instead of, like, with. And I think that's fun. And then, as a result, like, to me, Profile is kind of the embodiment of, like, object show silly. And that's why BFO Daily Dose. Well, that's part of why BFO Daily Dose uses Profile to represent silly. I don't know. But another part of it is because the PhD stands for Profile Hell Device. And so this is what the Profile Hell Device does. So yeah. And then the show is continuing. Yes, we're doing at least 2 more episodes. At least. Minimum. Will Lollipop's Auntie Chris appear in episode 9.5? Probably not, especially because we're not doing episode 9.5. Do you have an animation crew, or do you animate the episodes by yourself? It's complicated. So I don't have a proper animation crew. Usually the episodes are animated by me, maybe Scabbit, and that's the guy who plays Profile his Uncle Stephen, maybe Autumn. She played Choose Uncle Thomas. She's animated for a few scenes in the daily series. Nobody. He's the guy who plays Bad Brain Mr. E, came up with all of the good ideas in BFO. And yeah. So these are the most common animators you'll see. For Daily Dose, I had brought on a few other people. Namely, I'm gonna forget someone and I'm gonna feel so bad, but I brought on Flaming Spasite, Ahem Mayhem, Coid. I brought on... I should know this, I shouldn't forget. My animators. This is bad. Simple Sack. Yes, Simple Sack. Sample Sack? Simple, yeah. Something like that. And I believe that's all of them. And they animated between Daily Dose 3 and 5. So they animated for Daily Dose 3, 4, and 5. But I'm a bit of a control freak, and I had brought them on to do very quick animation in a very, like, lazy way, and that's what they had promised to do. What I was looking for the latter 3 episodes of Daily Dose wasn't that anymore. So for Daily Dose 6, it was me and Autumn. For Daily Dose 7, it was me, Nobody, and I also brought on Flaming again. And then the entirety of Daily Dose 8 is just me. I'm the only animator for Daily Dose 8. Okay. And then, let's see. What would be your idea if sorry, I read that badly. What would be your idea if Daily Stash got a season 4? I've thrown around a lot of ideas with friends. Most of them being really stupid. My favorite idea, although I can pretty much guarantee even if there was a Daily Stash season 4, I wouldn't do this idea because it would get ballooned in scope in the same way Daily Dose did. So that it's a season that's superheroes versus the military. Like, you know how superhero stuff sometimes has, like, the US military tried to, like, intervene. So everyone's assigned to be a superhero or the military, and so you have, characters with superhero powers. So let's say Oil is in the season, and he maybe is like Raisin Man or something like that. He gets raisin-based powers. Meanwhile, they're competing against the other team who has guns and stuff, and like bazookas and rocket launchers. I had always envisioned it taking place on a cargo ship. It's just, it's such a weird concept, and I really love it, but also at the same time, representing it would probably take a lot of time to do in a way that is funny or interesting. So I don't think I'm actually going to do it, even if I were to do a Daily Stash season 4. Wait, why am I giving no outlines? And then partway through the season, there was going to be a third faction introduced. Wizards. And wizards, unlike superheroes or the military, actually have to study for their magic. I don't know how this would be represented. Maybe debuters, maybe, like, some military contestants would, like, become wizards. I don't know. A lot of these were really, like, half-baked ideas, but it's a lot of really funny stuff to me. Another stupid idea that floated around for season 4 was a ninja season. I, again, don't know how that would work. BFO ninjas. And then I had also briefly considered just doing a Total Drama Revenge of the Island parody. BFO Revenge of Host. And it's like, this is Force Uncle Craig's revenge for being possessed by the Doctor, except he's not, he's kind of apathetic about everything all the time, so he's not really taking his revenge. The important thing is that they're like in the junkyard from season 1, but now it has toxic radioactive sludge everywhere, and that's making it crazy. Also, there's an all-new cast of contestants or something. I don't know. I don't think there were any more that were worth mentioning. Anything planned after BFOA finishes? At the moment, like, we technically have plans for if we were to do a mainline season 3. But life moves on, and, like, we're all getting busier, and we're all wanting to move on to other creative projects. We don't know if there's going to be a BFOA season 3. The answer is probably not, but maybe. It's not completely off the table. Also, if you hear any, like, breathing or moving around, that isn't me. It's because I have 2 dogs in my room. Okay. Do you mind if I make a spin-off of your spin-off with Hair Tuft? Literally do whatever you want with BFO stuff. Like, I am not protective of BFO, really. Or really most of my creative projects. Just do whatever you want and have fun with it. Use the BFO characters however you want, I guess. Just as long as you aren't offensive with it, I guess. So don't be racist with the BFO characters, I guess. I don't know. Are you ever going to continue that How to Make an Object Show series? I should. I really, 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 really should. I want to make an episode on writing. I want to make an episode on asset making. A lot of stuff. I haven't, mostly because I'm lazy. I think also writing is particularly hard to approach in this because everyone's process is going to be different, and what everyone needs is going to be different, so it's hard to make generalized statements. I just need to warn, oh my god, that one Wuggalo series is on How to Make an Object Show is so bad. And all of the tips are so reductive, and don't listen to them. There's that one section with Webs for Revs talking about how to make your object show characters sound realistic. Why would you want your object show characters to sound realistic unless you're writing a realistic show? No, it doesn't matter that people don't talk like that, because characters can talk like that, and it can be fun and interesting and cool. So, yeah, anyways, minor tangent aside, I intend to revisit that at some point, but I gotta figure out exactly how I want to approach giving writing advice in a very generic way that can be pretty universally applicable. Were any of the scrapped versions of Daily Dose 8 supposed to be more serious? Yes. This, of all the versions, the one we got is the one that takes itself the least seriously, I would say. You'll see later as we go delve more into them. Here, I should actually probably write on the stream, like, text in the top right. That it's a bit of a pre-show right now. Pre-show right now. Haven't started yet. Okay, there. That works. Anyways, yeah. They did take themselves a bit more seriously. This has some good things about it, some bad things about it. I will let you form your own opinions once we get there. And could I use Hair Tuft in Object Show in the back rooms called Escape for Silly Rooms or ETS? Yes. Why was Daily Dose 7 and 8 so philosophical and goofy at the same time? Because I don't believe in the idea of a joke show. I think BFO was created as a low-effort show to just have fun making a bad object show. But at the same time, that even though it is so obviously a, like, show with its roots in being as low effort as possible and has characters that are just terrible knockoffs of BFDI characters and terrible knockoffs of each other, and it's just such an Ouroboros of a show, I think it's still important that it has the flexibility to try to express something, to mean something, because it means something to me. And yet, I also think that it's important that even when it is trying to take itself more seriously, that it still has, at the same time, the flexibility to continue being silly. It's only when there's, like, you know... I think something that the Daily Object Show does a lot that bothers me, and I really tried not to do for Daily Dose 8, is that it'll set something up to be important and that you should care about it, and then it's just solved with a meme, and that makes it feel like the viewer is punished for caring. And I wanted this episode to still at least end with the previously established in-universe mechanics. But anyways, I think, like, it's important that a show has flexibility in what it's able to be and represent. And that's why they're so tonally like that in Daily Dose. And obviously, experimentation. I just wanted to see what I could do. And of course, in regards to the drop-off in Cheese recovering for Uncle Craig, yeah, again, this is going back to scrapped content. Well, we'll see about that. And let's see. How long was Doctorb planned? Doctorb was, like, we knew Doctorb himself was going to exist since before Daily Dose, but we didn't come up with him until after Holidaily. So if you're asking if he was planned before Daily Dose, no. But I mean, even in Daily Dose 1, there's, like, this shot of them, like, moving to a different point in the Doctorb office, and you can just see it straight up labeled Doctorb office. It's not slick about it at all. So yeah, Doctorb was planned between Holidaily and Daily Dose. Why is he talking about wizards in the military? It's funny. I don't know. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still trying to catch up with the chat. So are we just allowed to use the characters because they're just joke characters, and I was actually thinking of making a stupid show for a stupid reason? If I'm understanding this question right, you're allowed to use the characters, but that's not because they're joke characters. Again, I don't believe in the idea of a joke character. I think a lot of the ways you could define joke characters or joke shows would encompass a lot more than you think. I think most definitions of what a joke show is encompass BFDI, and I don't think it's fair to call that a joke show. But I think, or like, you're allowed to use these characters not because I think they're jokes or that they're not worth anything, but because I think that people being so protective over the things that they make is stupid. And I think that like, people should be allowed encouraged and free to iterate on the things other people make freely. That's just what I believe. And I like the idea that people are just allowed to take the stuff that I make, the characters that I use, and do their own stuff with them freely. And this is a similar policy that BFDI uses. Otherwise, we would not be doing stuff like this. So, yeah. What if Forza Craig had an uncle? That would be crazy. He does have a grandpa, though. Are you doing Art Fight this year? No. I've tried it once, didn't like it. It's just not my kind of flow. It's just not, like, I don't know. It's restrictive to me, and there's not there's not a lot that I like about it. Even if I were doing Art Fight, I probably wouldn't have Object Josies up. It'd probably be my non-object stuff. So it would be totally alien to anyone here. Is everyone dead after Daily Dose? No. The episode itself explains that the universe, that the world, slowly goes back to its default profile-y setting when taken off of it, so long as For's Uncle Craig is present, and he is. He just got turned into a profile, which I don't think changes that. So, there you go. They didn't die, they just got profiled. Sorry that I'm just scrolling around. Maybe I should make a VTuber model or something so that there's something to look at whenever I'm not, like, doing anything on the stream. Because, I'm drawing while answering the questions, but if a question I answer too quickly, there's nothing to look at in the meantime. Oh, I hope me moving my chair there wasn't too loud. Where did everyone go after the season end, like the first season end and the second season? I don't know. Sorry, I don't have anything to answer that with. Can I draw Moon from BFMK? I mean, you can draw anything you want. Who am I to stop you? In particular, Moon. I mean, if you want to draw the Moon from BFMK, like if you want permission, which I don't think you need permission to draw something, then I mean, I wouldn't be the person you should be asking anyways. That would be Dingo Wrath, because it's their character. Hi there, I've been watching BFOA on and off for 3 or 4 years, and I was wondering when episode 9 would come out. Do you know? I don't know. I can say I don't intend to make it another 2-year hiatus, like Daily Dose 8. I also didn't intend to make Daily Dose 8 a 2-year hiatus, but BFOA 9 is a much simpler episode to make than Daily Dose 8. Daily Dose 8 was the most complicated episode to make, on top of Burnout. But I am not currently burnt out on BFO, on making BFO. So, I want to get it out at the latest by the end of the year. I really don't want to miss that deadline. But I don't know. I want to try getting it out much sooner than that. Will I ever do another BFO camp? I don't know. There's no current plans to, but I'm not ruling it out altogether. I don't know if you read chat, but would you ever make plushies BFOA characters? Just a question. So, couple problems with that. First of all, I don't have a very big fan base. I obviously have the biggest fan base I've ever had now, because I have 16,000 subscribers, and my episodes average a couple dozen thousand views, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's still not nearly big enough to start making plushies. For reference, Jack and Jellyfy had, like, well over 400,000 subscribers before they started making plushies. And obviously, my situation is probably more comparable to maybe, Derpidon? Derpidon started making plushies, right? Let me check how big Derpidon's channel is. Derpidon, 184,000 subscribers. Over 10 times my size. I don't have the financial backing to make plushies.
And the second problem, who would I make a plushie of? Because, first of all, can't make For's Uncle Craig, who's, let's be honest, probably the only one who'd reasonably sell, because he's, cribbing from 4 BFB. I mean, maybe I could, go up to Carrie and Michael, ask, hey, I made this stupid ripoff of your character. Can I start selling plushies of them? Maybe I could do that, and maybe they'd even say yes. But until that happens, For's Uncle Craig is an absolute no-go for making a plushie. And then, I guess there's Macaroni, but he's just got such an odd shape, and also no one would buy that because no one watched the main series. Then, there's, what? Blushing emoji? Maybe blushing emoji is the best option for, making a plush. But even then, I think emoji as a concept might be copyrighted, so maybe she's also ruled out. Hair tuft is just such an odd shape, and also, I don't know. There's no great candidates to start making a plushie of, is the problem. So that's the biggest reason why a BFO plush is kind of out of the question. Well, I guess at the moment the biggest reason is because I literally just physically cannot do that. But assuming that someday I get the backing and support to be able to do that, the next biggest reason is just I can't. I don't have any good options. And maybe at that point I would. Maybe we've made Season 3 and the most iconic character is Florbo Giebus, and they're really perfectly plushy shaped and they look like this. Ew. What is this? Ew. Ew. Who is this guy? Ew. Well, we need to make a plushie of them, I think. Ugh. I love your show. It's very funny and awesome. Thank you. Means a lot. Not sure if you're the one who uploaded that BFB 31 parody video, but if you did, what happened to it, and how do you feel about the Teapot episode of the same name? I am the person who did that. My channel was called Crispe back then. I think it's bad, and the BFB 32 parody video I also made was bad. Importantly, they were getting a lot of traction, and I didn't really want that to be the thing my channel is known for. It's not like I haven't uploaded worse content. I mean, check out BFOA 1 through 5. But it's just, I didn't want to be the guy that made the BFB parody videos, and those were the biggest things on my channel, so that's why they're unlisted. Especially since Scabbit then made a BFB 31 parody video that kind of played off of mine, and his was kind of funnier anyways, but yeah. In any case, I think it's something that's probably going to be addressed in the future. But in regards to the Teapot episode of the same name, I didn't watch it. I stopped watching Teapot after episode 14 or so because I don't like it. And I don't actually really find pleasure in hate watching. And yeah. Burp. Yeah, I don't know why you would say that. Let me see. The best line to write is when an issue is solved by a meme, but it's played completely straight, like it's a legitimate strategy. That's good. Yeah, I like that. Hi, I'm the #1 Macaroni fan when he is showing up in a new episode. In parentheses, important. Thank you, Domo823, voice actor of Macaroni. Let's draw a celebratory macaroni very quickly so that I can get back to reading chat. Maybe one day I'll catch up, and then we can start the show. I mean, that talking about the scrapped versions of Daily Dose, episode 8. Here's my macaroni. There you go. Hashtag not my oil. Hi, Funkle Soup. Well, okay. I want to clear something up before I continue addressing this question. I am not Funkle Soup. Funkle Soup is the channel name. I am Crispe. Oops. There. So Funkle Soup, I see it as the collection of everyone who's made a channel. Made a video for the channel. So I guess technically right now, because Scabbit made that one BFO anniversary video, that means Funkle Soup is me and Scabbit. I don't know. But yeah. Let's see. When do each BFMK season take place in the BFO timeline? I think the first 2 seasons are just before Holidaily. I didn't really keep track of the release dates, but I would think that release order is God in this case. I can say with confidence BFMK 1 and 2 are canon to the BFO universe. I don't know if BFO is canon to the BFMK universe, and I don't have enough confidence to say that BFMK Season 3 onwards is canon to the BFO universe either. I don't have answers. Like, Moon has never been, like, on screen since his design updated, for instance, in BFMK. He's never been on screen in BFO, I mean. But, I don't know. We'll see if anything clears up there, but the answer I have right now for you is I don't know. Are you thinking of making any other object shows? Yeah, I don't know if they'll happen. You can make a poster or stickers. I might make a BFO poster. That could be fun. Doctorb, I think this was in relation to who would make a good BFO plush. Would Doctorb sell? I don't actually know if Doctorb would, like, cause, like, I don't know, he's in, like, 2 episodes, like, in this form, and I don't really know if people, like, consider that, like, an iconic design for BFO. I don't know if people would buy the Doctorb, especially because it really is just a circle with a weird C carved into it for some reason. The Cocoon hair tuft. I like the idea of Cocoon hair tuft flesh. That's good. Maybe if there was, like, an opportunity to do, like, a limited time plushie event thing. Yeah. Plush of Mr. E and it flies off the shelves at Target is good. Yeah. Macaroni plushie would be the best option because then it could double as a noodle one. Actually, that's a good idea because it could be like one of those, like, little octopus plushies that, like, on one side is, like, one plushie and then you, like, flip it to get the other plushie. You could do that because Noodle's colors are slightly lighter and she has, like, holes showing. You could just, like, flip the macaroni plushie. I don't know if that would be physically possible, actually. What am I talking about? I don't know. Maybe that would be possible. That would be cool, but I don't know if it would be physically possible. When you're done with all of Battle for Object, will you make another season or show? I don't know yet. I have no idea who that blue creature is, but I'm very fond of seeing it now. I said a name when I drew it. I don't remember what name I said. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Florbus Glorbus. Flobus Glorb. Someone said it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Will you ever upload voice auditions for any future BFO episodes? No, definitely not. Voice acting is arguably the most important thing in BFO because since every episode, except for Daily Dose 7 and 8, are completely improvised, the voice actors have, like, complete creative control over the show, pretty much. So, like, it is really important that I'm very picky and choosy about who exactly is voice acting on the show. So no, I won't be doing voice auditions. I'm sorry if that's disappointing. Okay. Do elephants exist in the BFO universe? I don't know. There's a joke in Anime Insanity about elephants not existing, and I imagine that's what this is a reference to. But I don't currently have an answer to that. Maybe it's lore important, so I don't want to lock in an answer now. Do you like Smiling Friends? I have not watched Smiling Friends, and I don't intend to. I realize you might have asked this because this looks like a Smiling Friends character, but I don't currently have any intentions to watch Smiling Friends. How do you feel about the 2 spin-offs being more popular than the actual show? That's fine. They're better. I mean, I think, like, BFO 9 and 10 may be the best episodes of the show. Maybe they won't. But, like, regardless, like, again, BFOA 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 are, like, pretty much completely unwatchable. And 5 through 7 have some pretty terrible audio issues. 8 doesn't have very great improv from me. So BFOA, as a season so far, isn't really very good, in my opinion. But I think, like, Daily Stash as a complete product, as well as Holidaily and Daily Dose, all, like, are at least watchable in their entirety and have decently fun jokes, and if you don't like them, they're not that long, so they're not, like, terrible sludge to sit through, unlike BFOA 3, which alone is longer than the whole of Daily Stash. So I am totally fine with the daily seasons being the most popular thing to come out of the show. Let's see. Do you have any projects in the works unrelated to object shows? Yes, I do. Hello, BFO is the second object show I've ever seen. I have a question. Why did you basically kill all of your characters turning into profiles? I didn't kill them. They just turned into profiles. Who is the strongest in BFO, in parentheses, contestants? Profile is Uncle Steven, definitely. Sorry that I keep scrolling up and down. Here, I'll draw a commemorative puss. That is Profile is Uncle Steven. That's his acronym. PUS. And then I just silently draw because I'm not currently answering a question. I'm sorry, that's the most awkward moment of the stream yet. Okay. Let's see. How would a text on asset plush even be made? Maybe? Yeah, I've got no clue. Maybe you just, like, make the text, like, connect. So, like, I don't know. You make it like that, and then, like, I don't think you could make a text on asset plush. Because he's just got such a shape to him, you know? This is the best I've got for you. And even then, like, the eyes would just be, like, impossible unless they're, like, I don't know, somehow, like, stitched on in some other weird way. Like, I don't think you could make a text on asset plush. Let's see. Inverting a cylinder is scientifically possible, but would be incredibly hard to pull off physically. Here at BFO, we make the most physically impractical plushies ever. Let's see. Hey, you're my 15th favorite YouTube. Thanks. Could you draw a little shriveled up guy named Gug? That would be beautiful. Yes, I'll draw Gug. This will be Gug. He'll be standing up next to Flippus Goose or whatever this guy's name was. Ugh. Ugh. Looks like weird and gross. But I'm almost caught up to chat, and so I'm almost ready to get started. So this is Gug. Here, I'll write his name down so I don't forget. There you go. Gug. Oops, I opened my files. Okay. For a while, Daily Stash was my favorite object show for some reason. Or, no, my favorite object. Well, are you suggesting that Daily Stash is just an object? Can you draw Forrest Nephew Timmy with a giant lollipop and a propeller hat? Yes. Here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Forrest Nephew Timmy, and I love to lick my giant lollipop. Yay!
His voice is pitched up by 4 semitones, so if that didn't sound quite right, that's why. Or actually, it's also probably because I didn't do the voice correctly.
I usually do it more like this, and then I pitch it up afterwards. So, yeah. You could probably export the audio from the stream and then pitch it up and check if it sounds accurate, which it may not, because I didn't cross-reference and I haven't actually voiced him in like 2 years.
Oh, that's a little too teal. Yeah, something like that. And then big lollipop. There we go. Have For's Uncle Craig ever met each other? I don't think I can reveal the answer to that question at this time. Do I plan on finishing the other BFO seasons? Seasons? Are there multiple unfinished seasons that I didn't know about? I do intend on finishing BFOA. Scrolls back over to the at minimum 2 episodes left sign. But I don't currently intend on finishing BFO Season 1 because it is already finished. I don't currently intend on finishing Daily Stash, Holiday Daily, or Daily Dose because they are also already finished. And I don't intend on finishing Paint and Suffering because it is also already finished. So, I guess, no, I don't, other than BFOA. Good handwriting in Microsoft Paint? How do you have these powers? I mean, it's just MS Paint. I don't know. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just MS Paint. It's just my handwriting. It's not like MS Paint is, magically making my handwriting or my brush strokes worse. It's just MS Paint. That's all. Hello. Will we ever get the FLAs? I'm assuming you mean Daily Dose, because the FLAs are already out for everything else. Yeah, I'll release the Daily Dose 8 FLAs, but you're gonna have to wait till the full season video comes out at the very least. Like, the video that has all of the episodes in a single compilation, because I'm gonna do, late revisions for that video, fixing a few errors within the original episodes. And, yeah. Just jumping in, it was nice seeing BFO and Daily Dose again. Thank you. Can you guy a friend named Josh? Joshp? I'm sorry if that's an actual name and I've just, been mean and cruel. I've just never seen that name before. I don't know what you mean by guy a friend. Oh, really big nose, yeah. Here. Sorry, I got you. Gug. Let's draw it like... These are nostrils. This looks maybe a little too phallic. Nope, got nose surgery. Any scrap characters for BFO? I went over this earlier. You can look at the timestamp for around when these two were being drawn, and I talked about it. But yeah. Let's see. Could you draw a garlic and cheese grave? Yeah, sure, why not? Garlic and cheese. And let's make it gray. Oops. There we go. Are you still in contact with the recommenders of Halo, Pop-Tart, and Force Nephew Timmy? I remember the contest makes the RCs join. I was never in contact with them. Well, that's not entirely true, but Pop-Tart and... Wait. No, just Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart's user still, like, frequently comments on BFO videos as they come out. Well, I guess I can't say frequently because it's just the last two, but... Pop-Tart's recommender commented on Daily Dose 7 and 8, but I've never spoken to them, like, in a conversation, only through YouTube comments. And, same goes for Halo's recommender, who I've also only ever spoken to through YouTube comments, but... Force Nephew Timmy's recommender is Brown Scarf, who I don't think I've ever held like a full conversation with, but we are in some mutual servers, and so like occasionally we are both part of the same conversation, although I don't think we've ever actually like properly directly spoken. Wait. There was this one time, actually, now that I think about it, where in a server, Brown Scarf was talking about all of the object shows that he's worked on, and he listed Daily Dose as something he animated for, and I was like, hang on, I don't think you did that. And he was like, weird, I like had like a false memory of animating for Daily Dose. And I said, the weird thing is that I also have this false memory. Like, I feel like it doesn't feel wrong that you animated for Daily Dose, even though literally it is. It is wrong. He didn't animate for Daily Dose. But, like, some part of me feels like, you know, he did. New Mandela effect, I guess. So, yeah. Brown Scarf is the recommender for Force Nephew Timmy, but I'm not really, like, I haven't talked to, like, any of the recommenders for Daily Dose, other than that. Although, I mean, I guess I just got, a role for Team Room 125 to work on that as a composer, and I believe Brown Scarf is an animator for that. I don't know if that means we'll interact through that, but it's not completely off the table, maybe? So, yeah. Just a second to color this halo a little better before I read more chat. Oh, this is a little too light. There, okay. It would be neat if you did one long compilation video of every BFO daily season. I do intend to do that. I mean, it'd be... Daily Stash Season 1 all episodes compilation is my most viewed video. Holidaily compilation is my second most viewed video. These compilation videos are the most, like, fruitful thing on my channel. So it would be stupid if I didn't make one for all episodes of the daily series. Could I draw Athos blushing emoji? I don't know what Athos is. I was very surprised to get 2 notifications in one day of 2 episodes. Well, Daily Dose 7 was already done 2 years ago. I just stitched the 2 parts together. That's all I did to upload it. And, like, from my perspective, it was 2 separate days because, like, I released episode 8 after sleeping, I guess. If Hairtuft feeds off object shows, does that mean he can feed off the gravity... Wait, gravity? That's not what you said. Sorry, does that mean he can feed off the Profiley transformations while not getting turned into a Profiley? Maybe? I don't know if, like... being turned into a Profiley is, like, an inherent part of object shows, or common enough part of an object shows that it really falls under being represented by, like, eating an object show. Because if you look at, like, what he actually, like, eats, it's all, like, vague concepts of, like, what is an object show, like, eliminations, and stuff like that. So, like, maybe? I'm not gonna rule it out altogether, but to me, at the moment, that's not really within his, or within their power set, within its power set. I don't think Hairtuft actually cares about what pronouns you use. What is an object camp? Wait, did I leave the description wrong? Wait, because, let me check something. Okay, no, the description's right. Object camp, I don't really know why you're asking that. If I left something residual from my last stream where I was advertising an object camp, that would... Please let me know. Oh no. But it's basically like if an object show was played by real people playing as object characters. That's kind of what it is. And my friend is the creator of Gug. They said it wasn't funny how you drew Gug. Kill Gug now so they can see the errors of their ways. The punishment of what happened to Gug. Okay. Gug is dying, I guess. Guess we're killing Gug now. There. Rest in peace, I guess. I love Team Room 125. Yeah, me too. It's literally like my favorite object show. If you like, I can say to everyone here, if you like BFO, you'll love Team Room 125. It's like if BFO was like way better. It has a lot of similarities to BFO, but it's so good. It's so good. Like, Balut is like garlic and cheese, except the mean one is more interesting instead of the nice one. Their chicken nugget plotline is like the spongy plotline from Daily Stash, except it actually has a really funny payoff. Like, there are a lot of similarities between the daily series of BFO and Team Room 125, but Team Room 125 is also just like the funniest object show, and I love it so much. Did Forzical Craig get turned into a Profiley as well, or was he too powerful? I don't know. I think you should come to your own conclusion. Can I recommend a character? I don't currently have recommended characters open. Doomtastic, hello. I recommend a bowl of meatballs. I still don't have recommended characters open. how many episodes would OFB have if it wasn't canceled? So, for those who don't know, OFB was a season that was canceled before it came out. And I've released the first minute or so of it that was animated, but it was never going to be any good. It was around the era of like BFO 5-ish, before we really ironed out what BFO was going to like really be, and it would have run concurrently with BFOA, and we would have like this was before they decided to continue BFDIA, so I guess at that point it was still novel that like we would try to like make BFOA connect seamlessly into OFB. We were gonna do that before they decided to do that for BFOA or for BFDIA. But anyways, I'm just gonna draw because I'm talking, and I'm gonna be talking for a little while here. But yeah, so OFB had a handful of contestants in the Shadow Realm, and I guess we could theory craft how long it would have been, because I guess I don't think I've ever actually done the math. So I can go grab the cast of it in a second, once I'm done drawing Blushing Emoji's clone here. By the way, we'll talk about this later. More than an hour long pre-show. I'm so sorry. If this was meant to, I meant to get the ball rolling by now, but whatever. I'm not in a rush. This character, still just to this day named Blushing Emoji, although I usually refer to them as Blushing Emoji's clone. But like, older versions of Daily Dose 8 have them go by a different name, which I also sometimes call them when I'm like referring to them with friends, which is Orbot. Don't take that as a canon name because it didn't appear in the episode that came out, but I will often refer to this character as Orbot. The FLAs, though, refer to them as Blushing Emoji, and then with a little, like, in parentheses, 1 after that, like, whenever you copy a file. And then let me hold on. Trying to get the cast for OFB so that we can theory craft how long OFB would have been if we were continued. Okay. So this OFB image here, ooh, that's small, okay, shows that there would have been, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters inside of the Shadow Realm. So there probably would have been like 8 to 10 episodes. No, I guess 9 at least, because you have to do episode 1 to have someone voted out. So yeah, there probably would have just been 10 OFB episodes. It would have been the same length as BFOA. So, yeah. I'm glad we didn't do OFB. I do not regret canceling it, even a little bit. It was way too early. Like, even if we were to do something like it, if we were to do like an IDFB structured season, first of all, nowadays, I just want to wait till there's another episode of IDFB out in case they change the formula in an unexpected way. Second, it was way too early in the series' lifespan to do this. We just we didn't have a lot of characters. Maybe, like, nowadays you could justify doing, like, a season with some of the daily characters. Let's say, like, we have, garlic and cheese in here. We have, like, Alfonso. We have, who else is a daily character? Glorified Junior 2. And now people are actually voting on, like, a lot of characters that they care about. But at the time that we decided to make this, these were the least respected characters on the show. Like, the only character I think who would actually get, like, a decent number of votes was 8-Ball because he had probably the most screen time out of these. But then, like, why would you ever vote for any of these characters otherwise? Nowadays, of course, some of these characters have a bit more of a legacy. Blushing Emoji and Teapot in particular. But, like, it was too little. It was too early in BFO to do something like this, so, yeah.
There's your answer.
Okay. Let's see. Can you draw an 8th note algebra alien with big, beautiful eyes? I should know which kind of note an 8th note is. I just forgot. Okay, I got it. 8th note algebra alien with big, beautiful blue eyes. Sure, yeah. Here you go. Beautiful. Although, since they're not algebra, I don't think they qualify as an algebrailian. But I don't know what else they would call them, because they're not paraphernalia either, so you can't call them a paraphernalian either. But they're blue, and they're an 8th note, so here you go. Alright. I'm gonna speed run through these last few so that I can get caught up with chat so that I can actually start talking about the scrapped versions of BFO Daily Dose 8. How did I come up with Funkle Soup as a channel name? Because I did BFO Camp and did Funkle Soup as the name of the host character. And because I was like, the hosts of BFO have been Macaroni and For's Uncle Craig. So if I combined them, then that would be the ultimate host character. So it's like an alphabet soup, except instead of letters, it's all just For's Uncle Craig. So that's what Funkle Soup is. It's a For's Uncle soup. That's it. And I just decided to use that later as the channel name as well. Did the creator... Did you ask the power of Luigi... Did you ask if... Sorry, I can't read, apparently. Did you ask the creator of the power of Luigi to collab with you? You realize the creator of the power of Luigi is Scabbit, the guy who plays Profile's Uncle Steven, right? Like, he's been on every BFOA episode since BFOA 3. A new show called For's Uncle Craig, and it's just a bunch of For's Uncle Craigs talking to each other. This could happen. Orbot from Sonic. Oh yeah, there is an Orbot from Sonic. I didn't consider that. Orbot is Sonic Medias, yes. 8-Ball, Ball 8, 8, and Ball. I like 8. What would that even look like? Ugh. Like, because they're not... It's removing the ball from 8-Ball, but I don't know what, like, 8 would look like. Like, would that just look like this? Like... Ew. Ew. And then... Flaming Brother. Yes, that's Flaming Brother, person who animated for some of Daily Dose. Whoa, he's mentioned right here in my list of people who animated. Let's see. Can you draw a rubber band ball character? I will be as fast as I can, because I still want to get caught up, but I'll try. Actually, they're more like, I don't know what color rubber bands are. They're like all kinds of colors, right? There you go. Wait. Didn't you just say they were multicolored? Wait. Multicolored. Yes, you literally just said they were multicolored. I'm so stupid. Hold on. Let's try like that. And like that. And yeah, there we go. Okay. Funkle Soup. Noxymoron album. Are you planning on any new albums and releases? Or just make them as ideas come to you? I'm just making them as ideas come to me. I have not started on a second album. I mean, I've technically made one song since that might end up on a second album if I make a bunch more songs and decide it's fitting, but like I don't know, just doing things as they come. I don't really have like plans to be a musician necessarily, but I wanted to release an album because I like making music. Okay. I'm caught up with chat. I'm going to take a minute because I need to pee. So I'm going to use the restroom and also get a quick drink, and then we're going to talk about BFO Daily Dose 8. BRB. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so I also went to go get a drink. Okay. Which is very necessary, because I was just talking for an hour and a half straight. So, very good and necessary to get a drink. Especially because I'm probably about to do a bunch of character voices, because I'm about to show off scripts without showing off audio with them, so I'm going to have to read out stuff. I don't intend on reading out the entire script or anything, and I'm going to probably release this stuff afterwards, like, separately, so you can look at it without having to look at the stream. But, yeah, okay. Let's, I'm gonna change the text in the top right corner. So, I'll just, here, there, and now let's just move that. Okay, so, let's talk about BFO Daily Dose 8. Oh wait, I need to remove the BRB here. Here we go. I'm gonna put this in the BFO Discord server. So, it's gonna go in the announcements channel. There we go. Alright. So, first of all, the episode was entirely scripted in a previous iteration, and also recorded some audio for, and also even some of it was animated, so we get to look at a bit of never publicly seen before BFO animation. So let's see if that's any good, because I actually haven't looked at this since I restarted Daily Dose handful of months back. So I'm pulling it up now. Oh god, I don't actually know where I put this in my files. This might take a minute. Let's see. BFO Daily Dose 8. BFO doo 8. Maybe it's gonna be like 8.1.fla. 8. Well, it's gonna be at least 2023. Let's see. Open path. Nope, that's BFO 8. But I might be able to get it. Wait a minute. I think I know where I put this in my files. Okay. So I should have come prepared for this. I can't believe that I've not been prepared for this. Here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go over to we're gonna put the stream over on my Adobe Animate, because that's the program that the series is animated on. If it'll let me. Hello? There we go. Okay. And now I open. There's a few files. Let's go from probably least exciting to most exciting. So what is lasso.fla? I actually don't remember what this is. Okay, I remember what this is. So basically, there was a sequence in the older version of the episode where Pop Art would turn into a lasso, and I just made like a custom paintbrush so that I was able to warp that around easily, and that's what this FLA is. It's just me trying to make that. Instead, we have the megaphone cut, I guess, where she turns into a megaphone instead. I have 8temp.fla, which I can only assume is just like a temporary assets FLA for this older version. Yeah, it looks like it. So, I don't even know what's different about this compared to like any of the episode 7 FLAs. It doesn't look like any. I get to talk about unused content even outside of Daily Dose 8. Yes, okay. So every single FLA for Daily Dose scenes has this in it. The bathroom. This bathroom is what's behind one of those doors in the hallway. I think it's this door right here in the closest one to the camera. And I made a bathroom before the season, and then I just never used it because none of the characters ever went to the bathroom in the episodes. And yeah. Mandela effect of Funkle Soup having a spoon. That's exciting. New Mandela effect. Okay, there's your first, or no, I guess second, because we already went over the lasso. Second piece of unused Daily Dose content today. Here's a map that I pulled off of Google that I don't know how they came up with this layout, but I'm probably misunderstanding something because this looks like the worst layout I've ever seen for a hospital. Why would the reception be in a different room than the waiting room that you also have to like leave and go into? Like, I'm misunderstanding something here, right? Because like then they have to come out and so I really wanted to use this for Daily Dose because it's just so bad of a hospital floor plan that I'm like, this is completely nonsensical. I need to use this. So it's a little different because I just combined the waiting room and the reception for the sake of episode 1. So the reception-y would be like right here, but this is the floor plan for the Daily Dose hospital. You can see like if I rotate this, you know, this is the hall. They have, you know, the office here. There's stuff here. You know, bathroom, like I mentioned previously. And instead of reception room right here, I just put a painting. And then, you know, you even have the dark room, which I know that's supposed to be referring to a photo room, but I just really like the idea of just the hospital having an ominous dark room. So yeah, this is the layout that I just went hospital floor plan on Google, and that's how I got the layout of the Daily Dose hospital. And we have a bunch of junk that was used for making these rooms. What is this? Oh, that's the tap from the sink. I'm like, what? That's for the bathroom. Again, that's also never used. Yeah. Yeah. For whatever reason, I still have BFO Season 1 background in the FLA. I don't need to. There's no good reason to, but I do. So there you go. What's this? Oh yeah, I've got the Holidaily Junkyard, but not the Daily Stash version, just the Holidaily version. Which makes sense, because I'm pretty sure the Daily Dose FLAs were just built off of the Holidaily FLAs, and Holidaily FLAs were built off the Daily Stash FLAs, but I didn't bother to make a bunch of duplicates of everything, since the entire season would have this version of the Junkyard, so I just, like, took the symbol and then just changed it, instead of, like, making duplicates and stuff. So, yeah. And here you can see all these cool Easter eggs, but this isn't anything new. We already knew this. Obviously, I can talk about what the Easter eggs are, which, if you don't know, literally every single, like, Easter egg might be some interesting new content for you, but that's not really what we're here for. But, like, Red Guy from DHMIS, whoa, Domino from Nobody's Domino Entries, or Life Crystal from Terraria, the Wiki Machine from the Wikicamp 2, Zane from Lego Ninjago, Starman from Earthbound. Yeah, just a lot of junk. Anyways, Release the toilet cut. That's good. Okay. Woody's corpse from Buffed Cow. Maybe. Hold on. Yeah, probably something like that. Deceased Woody, what are you doing here? They probably had more detail in the Daily Stash version. I don't know. Like, I could have sworn this sign said, "Don't feed the tuft." So, yeah, I don't really remember. This is irrelevant though. This is old news. We're here for Daily Dose. Scrapped recommended character drawings. Okay. So this is actually maybe interesting. Oh, that's what the Itsy Bitsy Spider looked like. Okay. Let's go to the Daily Dose 1 FLAs real quick, because these obviously don't have the assets on them. Wait. No, this did appear in the episode. There was a scene in episode 1, right, where it scrolled past a lot of recommended characters? Well, I guess I still have a few scrapped drawings to show, so either way, this isn't a completely useless tangent. So there were, I think, 2 or 3 drawings that I made for recommended characters in Daily Dose 1 that didn't end up making it into the episode for whatever reason. I could be wrong. Let me check, because this is cool unused content if so. Let's see. Okay. So we have daily. Ow, that's really loud on my end. Okay. You might have even heard that through my mic, because I don't have any kind of noise canceling. Let's see. So, where was the recommended character section? I can't find it. Was it the second scene? I think it was the second scene. Let's see. Also really loud. Hello, Force Nephew Timmy, blushing emoji, Alfonso. No, I guess it must have been scene 3. Hold on. Detour number 3. Okay. Yeah, alright. So here we have some recommended characters. I'm pretty sure all of these guys appeared in the episode. So here's the Itsy Bitsy Spider, as was mentioned before. This was the, like, second closest character to making it in the show over Pop-Tart. Poor Man's Banjo was also pretty close. I forgot about Poor Man's Banjo. I like Poor Man's Banjo. I don't know if their video is still up, but if it is, that's awesome. But I was pretty much just, like, drawing these characters, like, in order, otherwise, until I decided, okay, I actually don't want to draw, like, a gajillion recommended characters, so I stopped. But I think there might have been a drawing or 2 that didn't end up making it into the episode. Let me just flip through the symbols. What is this? Wait, what is this? I remember what this is. Okay, actually, let's talk about... sorry, this is another detour. Okay, I had some visuals over here of, like, an... Wait, where was it? I thought I was going to get a girlfriend. And I was, like, maybe gonna animate this beginning sequence. And here we have, like, a beating heart. But then I just decided the scene was funnier if it was just, like, black screen and then fades in. So there's a little bit of cool scrapped content, maybe. I don't think there was anything else animated for the sequence. Maybe, yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Okay, back to looking for recommended characters whose drawings didn't make it in. I could have sworn there was one or 2. Maybe not. No, it doesn't look like they're still here. I'm pretty sure Buzz OS recommended Ring Pop or something like that, and that almost made it in. Were any of these Ring Pop? No, none of these are Ring Pop. So yeah, I don't know. I could have sworn, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I just removed it from the FLA for whatever reason. But yeah. Okay. Why does this guy kind of sound like Baldy? Wait till you see Forzical Craig. At all times, he kind of always sounds like Baldy. Okay. Now, Daily Dose 8, original version. Yes. So, let's look at some scenes. Some scenes from this older version before we check out the whole script for this older version of the episode. So none of these have, like, any of the reasons for why I scrapped the episode, which I'll talk about later. But here's 8-3, and let me set up my audio capture so that you're able to hear the episode. 8-3 Crispy. So, let me know if you're able to hear this.
But I don't think I'm...
Were you able to hear that? I need a yes or no on that. Okay, good. Sorry, there was a pretty long delay on my end for that. Alright. So, this is the scene. I don't think there's going to be anything that requires me to export it to be able to see, so I'll just play it raw on the animation.
But I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Well, I'm supposed to be with the other eliminated contestants.
You don't understand. It's different for me.
No, this wouldn't be a problem if my powers were more developed. Huh? What do you need to do? Get watch emoji down from there. Okay, watch this. Oh. You can shapeshift. How? I think it comes from my DNA! Papa can do that? Nope.
Hey, don't lasso me, please.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh. I don't think that's supposed to happen.
And that was that scene. Yeah, there we go. And you can see a few of these ideas made it into the final version of the episode. Like, blushing emoji's clone falling and then shattering. Although, it's a little bit different. So, there's that. And looking back at this, I'm surprised at how animated Pop Heart is. Like, she has like an idol, like, rocking back and forth here, and she's even got like an eye movement here. What was I doing? And like she's so animated here. I even gave her a little heart tongue because she's Pop Heart. That's so cute. This is my first time looking at this in like 2 years, if that weren't evident. So yeah, there's that, and then we have scene 4, which I think is also finished, but maybe this scene is unfinished. We'll see. Oh no, this scene is unfinished. It barely even started. Okay. Ooh, yeah, no. Okay, yeah, nothing's done for this. Okay. So there you go. There's your dose of scrapped Daily Dose 8 animation. Oh, the Forest's Uncle Tyler. We have an uncle name. I'll probably keep that if I ever reuse the Forest. That hasn't or the Forest's uncle. that hasn't, like, appeared, right? Like, elsewhere. Oh, wait, no, that was in Daily Dose 5. Never mind. This has appeared in canon already. Never mind. Sorry. This is already previously established. I haven't rewatched Daily Dose. I'm sorry. It's a miracle that I even remember as much as I do. Okay. Yes. Let's... Oh, it's loud? Okay. I'll turn it down. I'm sorry that I didn't check for how loud it was. Let's check if this is a decent volume.
I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Well,
Is that like a decent volume, or should I make it louder or quieter? While I'm waiting for answers to that, I will answer other questions. Minutely Object Show. I've never watched the Minutely Object Show. Hi, Crispo. What are your pronouns? I don't care. Say what you want. Am I allowed to make a compilation of the scrap stuff? Yeah, do whatever you want. Again, I'm not really protective over BFO as a series. It's do whatever you want. It's like I am currently making it public as well, so it's not. My alarm is going off. Sorry about that. I should make sure that doesn't happen again. But yeah, I'm making it public, so it's not like it would be releasing private information, but also just like it's fine. I'm not protective over the show. There's someone who literally like uploaded a video that was like my favorite scene from Holidaily, and it's like they uploaded almost an entire episode. Okay. Okay. Now, I did obviously have the audio for this entire version of the episode animated, but I don't think there's much noteworthy there, because I'm about to show the script, which, again, I will also just release individually afterwards. Okay, let's see. Wait, I did do layout. Like, I did, I guess, storyboards? Yeah. Okay, so we actually do have a little bit more to look at, visually. Okay. So, oh, this doesn't look like my style. That's nobody's style. Hang on. I guess I had nobody do layout for this sequence. I don't even remember having him do that. That's awesome. Okay, we get nobody storyboards. This is awesome. This is even cooler than I thought. Alright. So, let's see what this looks like.
Well, I suppose you should go off and play with the failed reviewers.
that's me! Yay!
Yes, sir.
But where's blushing emoji? I'm Mr. Sauce!
Actually, wait. Since this is being recorded, I should probably, like, keep this at a consistent zoom level so that you're able to just, like, not have to, like, crop it terribly. Hold on, let me play that.
Well, I suppose you should go off and play with the failed reviewers.
That's me! Yay!
Yes, sir.
But where's blushing emoji? I'm Mr. So much!
Well, if you mean the clone, then I believe they said they were going back to trying to escape.
Blushing emoji, get back down here. Dr. said I should play with you. And I want to as well! Yoo-hoo!
I don't want to be here.
Join the club. No one here does. I don't want anything except to be loved and to love everyone. Wow! Pepper, shut up.
Okay, and that was the scene right before that other scene that I just played. And why do I sound like every BFO character?
It's probably because I voiced them! Yay!
And here's the layout for scene 3, actually. Apparently there's also layout for that other scene that I had already shown? Maybe? Wait. Does it even... What? It doesn't... It just has the backgrounds being placed. What? This isn't layout? Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Okay. anyways, how about scene 5? Please tell me these other ones have... Okay. These other ones have stuff in them. I was like, oh god, is there just like one scene that has layout done? Alright. Let's look at scene 5. So let me pull the script up so I can so we can follow along with the story here. So at the beginning, before the first scene, there's just some dialogue between like Pop Heart and Doctorb and Force Nephew Timmy. Okay, so then we get to this scene where it's like, you know, play with them. We get to the scene 3 where it's like, oh, yeah, all right. So then we get to scene 4, which is not this scene, where so Garlic and Cheese argue a bit because Cheese is having trouble reviving the fuckdorb. That's Forcicle Craig Doctorb. That's what I call him. I don't know if I should be saying that on stream. And Blushing Emoji offers to help Cheese. And so that's the context for the scene. Let me wait. Okay, so let me paste in what was in the script. So here, this is the script for scene 4. So we have Garlic going like,
Geez, are you sure you know what you're doing?
and then she says,
Sure, I don't know. Stop pressuring me.
and we have Forcicle Craig's body and an amalgamation of bits and parts, and his body falls apart, and then Cheese goes,
This is harder than it looks.
and Blushing Emoji goes,
Is there anything I can help you with?
Cheese says,
Oh, Blushing Emoji, hey, I wasn't expecting you or for you to want to be so helpful, actually.
and Blushing Emoji says,
Don't make a big deal out of it. Oh my god.
and she says,
Sorry.
so Blushing Emoji says,
Look, I want to go home. I'm so sick of being here, even now that the stupid doctor, or stupid whatever is gone. Everything's so grateful, and it's been getting to my head, and we've been here for so long, and I'm sick of it.
and Garlic says,
Try busting the door down or something.
and Blushing Emoji goes,
I have tried that.
and so, and then I believe that's where it leads into this scene.
The door's like concrete or something. Every single thing about this stupid hospital seems like it was made just to bring me hell.
No, I understand.
Oh, I'm sure you do, Little Miss Perfect. Tell us all about it.
Blushing Emoji, do you want to help us go home or not?
No, you're right. Why did I say that? Oh.
Hey, it's okay. No hard feelings. I get that you're not, like, okay and stuff.
Hey, lay off Blushing Emoji.
See, it's okay, Blushing Emoji. I have to tolerate him all the time. I'll probably be okay with you.
Yeah, I'm only making her stronger, Cheesy.
He is louder for me than he is for you.
So, can I help you, or...?
Yeah, would it be dehumanizing to use you as a table?
Honestly, that's the least dehumanizing thing since I got here.
I don't remember writing that. But yeah, that's what scene 5 is like in that original early version. Scene 6 does not have any layout at all. Okay, and then scene 7. Yes. Okay. So let's look at the script for what would be the scene 7 or what? There's clearly supposed to be audio here. Hang on. Does this have it? Why is there no audio? Hang on. I probably have it in my files, so I could just drag it in. audio 8, scene 7. Yeah, alright, here we go. So, before we look at scene 7, let's look at...
Let's just...
Okay. Hang on, that doesn't line up with the scene. Wait.
Let's just...
No, because this... That's a different scene. What was... Something's wrong with the naming of this file. And I don't know what scene this is supposed to be, because it's been 2 years since I've looked at this script. But it's clearly not supposed to be scene 7. Let's see. But it looks like it has Halo Scuttles, or Horn Scuttles, Alfonso Scuttles. Hold on. Let's put everything at a consistent crop, yeah. Okay. So they're scuttling, they're normal walking. He's normal walking anyways. So... Wait. I could figure out which scene this is and find the audio. So... This is probably scene 8 then. Yes, okay. The audio lines up. Let me drag in the scene 8 audio. Alright.
Hey, Halo. Hey, Horn. Hello, Alfonso.
What are you doing?
I'm making it all mushy gushy sloppy like.
Whoa, what?
What does it look like I'm doing? I've decided to make myself useful and help Cheese fix the doctor.
Okay, well, that's good. We wanted you to do that anyways.
Oh, what? Is this another ploy to help take the prize?
Yeah, sorta.
Well, who am I to argue?
Oh, something's happening.
Hello?
What? I don't remember writing that. Why does blushing emoji say that?
I'm making out a sloppy cushy style. What?
What?
Doing?
I'm making it all mushy gushy sloppy like.
Whoa, what?
What does it look like?
And... Okay, let's see if I've got layout for... Well, the next says that it's scene 8 layout, so maybe it's literally just going to be a copy of this? Yeah, no, this is literally the same thing, except it actually has the audio inserted into it. These are really weird layout. Like, I kind of like it, but it's weird because...
Yeah.
First of all, you.
Oh, something's happening.
But also just the... I don't know. I'm not sure if I would do layout like this today if I were doing it in Flash, but maybe I should try. Either way, these blushing emoji recordings aren't very good, I think, by my current standards.
I really should have re-recorded them and make the voice sound more, proper. I mean, I guess she's upset, but, you know, you could still make it sound a bit more like her.
Yeah. Okay, that looks like all of what I had done of the layout. So let's look at the script itself. I'm gonna drag this into a LibreOffice window because I trust that a bit more than Google Docs. I just need to make the color better. Okay. So, obviously warning that this script is not professionally written. I've since then learned how to write scripts better, but yeah. I mean, okay. I should probably tell you, Sonic Gotta Go Fast 8 or H8W that I'll probably just release all of this separately. I don't. You might not need to do this because I'll probably like export these as like. I'll probably export these and then make them public in like their own little secluded little video. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I won't. But I don't know if you gotta like record it all in one video or not. And you also this stream's VOD will still be up on this channel, so you could just like record from the recording of this video, like this stream. I don't know. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I'm just saying reconsider if the way that you're doing it is the way that you should be. Anyways, so let's do. Hang on, I need to sneeze. Okay, I sneezed, but I muted so that it wouldn't be annoying and weird. Okay. Now, let's look at Untitled One. But, yeah, so this is not a professionally written script. I've learned how to do it since, but, yeah. So, outline of the episode. The episode begins inside the possession room. Blushing Emoji clone realizes they're a robot, undertakes a new identity, Orbot. Force nephew Timmy possesses Orbot. Orbot possesses Doctorb. Doctorb is possessing Force Uncle Craig. Ergo, Force Uncle Craig possesses Force nephew Timmy possesses Force Uncle Craig. Cheese stitches fucked Orb back together, but they're a hulking beast in a hollow shell of their former self. I might have even scrapped this part. I don't even remember before I even finished the script. I don't know. This is again my first time looking at this stuff in over 2 years now. Force nephew Timmy realizes he doesn't want to be Force Uncle Craig or the Doctor, but he just needs direction in his life, and the Doctor can give him that. I'm not sure if I necessarily like this direction, because the Doctor, for all intents and purposes, the Doctor's a bad guy. Like, let there be no mistake, he's kind of a bad dude, so I don't know if I really like this direction of, like, leaving Force nephew Timmy off with the Doctor. Alfonso, Halo, and Horn. Awesome outline. Okay, but yeah, here's where there is. This is why the episode was scrapped, or this version of the episode was scrapped. So, it was deemed a little triggering. So if you have, if you're particularly sensitive to topics about memory loss, this is your cue to leave, and that's okay. So there was a plot line where once they left the building, they would forget everything that happened in the building. Force Uncle Craig could potentially give them more time with their memories, but eventually it will falter, and they will forget anyways. And yeah, and then this is effectively all of their views on that. Hold on, this was supposed to be on a different page there. Okay. So we have stuff we've already seen. I mean, this beginning part we didn't see already yet. But, yeah. Then we see the scene 2, the scene 3, the scene 4, and the scene... 5. Okay. So, we hadn't already seen them rummaging through drawers. So, in this version of the episode, we kind of see Alfonso, Halo, and Horn's adventures as they go, like, around the inside of the Doctorb office. They've like found the elevator, have gone down, and are like exploring through floors. And so here they're rummaging through drawers. Come on. Actually, I don't remember if I had the elevator in mind or if this was just like a single room at this point. I can't remember, but yeah, he's like, "Oh, come on, it's gotta be here somewhere." Obvious grammatical error. Wow, how did this not get caught? We'd be searching a lot faster if it wasn't for Horn looking through the same drawer over and over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, okay, it's okay, keep doing it, it's funny.
Okay.
And then, so they find blueprints for the PhD, a Profile Hell device.
Is it dawning on either of you how silly this whole competition thing is?
So they basically just muse about stuff for a little while. Again, I'll release the script afterwards so you can like review this more in more scrutiny later on your own if you want to. But yeah. So basically over here. Basically, the Doctorb forms like a psychic connection with Cheese from inside of Forzical Craig's corpse. And the Doctorb gives Cheese the instructions to recover Forzical Craig's body, which is necessary because Forzical Craig, or because the Doctorb had accidentally messed up Forzical Craig's self-recovery tubes. And meanwhile, For's nephew Timmy, I believe he strikes a deal with Pop Heart to possess Pop Heart so that Pop Heart can shapeshift into an orb so that For's nephew Timmy can possess Orbot, or Blushing Moshi's clone, and then For's nephew Timmy so there's a chain of possession here where For's nephew Timmy possesses Pop Heart, possessing Blushing Emoji's clone, possessing the Doctor, possessing Forzical Craig, and so like Forzical Craig comes back to health and is being actively possessed by For's nephew Timmy, effectively, and it's like, it worked! Yes, it actually worked! Finally!
What? What's going on? Have I been tricked?
No, you haven't been tricked at all. It's just that there's another factor you haven't considered. Me, For's nephew Timmy.
Oh.
Well, obviously there's some other factor involved because this looks so weird. Why do you look like that?
Yeah, because he's still like a weird hulking mess. A weird abomination mixture. As you can see here. I'm checking chat real quick. And okay. So yeah, all right. Sorry, I was just catching up with chat. And it's like, well, I needed to possess the blushing emoji clone so I could possess the Doctor, but I didn't want to work that out with her, so I just had Pop Heart let me possess her and shapeshifted into an orb so I could possess the blushing emoji clone.
Blushing emoji clone? Pop Art? What's he talking about?
Oh my god, Horn literally told us all about them.
Maybe, but I don't listen to Horn very often.
And this is the most important part for For's nephew Timmy.
So now that I'm finally For's Uncle Craig, I can finally take my revenge! I can kill everyone here 1,000,000 times over!
And then he, like, does that Omega Flowey thing where it's just, like, killing you and then recovering you and then killing you and then recovering you and then killing you, and he's just like, ha 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 ha.
I'm bored.
Huh?
I'm bored. You guys aren't very fun to kill. There's nothing interesting, and I'm also kind of thinking about it, and I don't really know what else to do. Like, I guess I could do anything now, huh? So, where do I start?
I mean, you could go hang gliding.
Okay, I'm done.
Huh?
I did it. I learned how to hang glide, and did it for about a year's worth in just a moment of time, without moving. I guess that was fun, for about a millisecond.
Wow, you're really adjusting to this body a lot faster than the Doctor did.
I mean, yeah, it's basically the same as mine, but older, so it's not that hard. I guess I'm just... What do I even do from here, you know? I'm on top of the world, so where do I go next?
Well, if you're exhausted by your infinite power, why not try putting yourself under limitations? Like, you can't learn a skill super quick, so you have to do it super slow and normal.
But then what's the point of even taking over his body if I do that? If I'm just handicapping myself for no reason, then I'm just like him. Except worse, because I'm just a shoddy copy. And, well, if we're being honest, he's sort of a shoddy copy too, isn't he?
So it's just iterations of iterations all the way down.
I think this was a little too heavy-handed. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't have written like this. Oh well. Hey, nothing's wrong with that, I think.
You're just blinded by ignorance and devotion. You don't get a say in this. It's just, I don't know. This whole rig-around feels pointless.
Well, what did you expect was gonna happen when you got all super powerful?
I'm not sure I expected anything, actually. I think I just saw it as kind of a goal. It was something that I should do, and because I could, that meant I had to, because what else am I supposed to do?
And yeah, so basically that was gonna be like effectively the resolution to Force Nephew Timmy's thing, because that's why in episode 6 there's like a Force Nephew Timmy noticing there's like Flushing Moji's clone is like an orb, and it couldn't fit into the scope of what ended up in the final version of the episode. I still like this much more as an ending for Force Nephew Timmy, and I wish that I could have done this. It's just, again, I didn't want the scope of the episode to be as high as what it was before. Because I think this version of the episode might have ended up at like 30 minutes, maybe more. It's like, the 20-minute version of the episode already took me like 2 years. But yeah. So basically, let's see. Where's the important part? Not this, but look. Do you mind if I just go back to possessing you? I don't know. I was kind of getting bored of being cooped up in the exosunk of Timothy. Hey, are my self-recovery tubes tied up? No wonder. Shoop. Oh, goodness, Force Uncle Craig, I was this close. Come on. I don't even care if I get to keep it. I just like it for, like, a month longer. Nah. But yeah. So Let's see. I like this bit. Well, first, I suppose I should reveal the winner of Daily Dose, should I not? Actually, all of us pulled together and voted that I rejoined and won. What? I don't think that's usually how that works. What's Uncle Craig, are they allowed to do that? I mean, it's your show. Then I'll say no. I'll stick to the real votes. I'm sure it's fairly obvious, but with 212 out of 277 votes, Garlic and Cheese are the winners of BFO Daily Dose. And for winning, you get a PhD. Congratulations, you two. Allow me to get you the prize. I left it somewhere in here. And then he floats towards the door with his room. I think I should go before he realizes. Whoa, Buster. It's getting exciting. And if I'm not allowed to leave, you can't either. Oh. Okay, someone took the prize. Who was it? And then I'll say, Alfonso. Oh, of course. Alfonso, may I see that? I was actually just taking it to bring justice to Cheese.
Oh, please, just go on. I'd love to see how you worm your way out of this.
You can't just promise a PhD and then weasel out of giving it by... There, I'm delivering this terribly, but, you can see. And then weasel out of giving it by just leaving it as an acronym for something else. Come on, Profile Hell Device, what do you? Give Cheese the proper prize now. And then, Profile Hell Device, goodness, what? Let me take a look at this. Or let me look at this. He takes the PhD blueprints. This isn't mine. Force Uncle Craig, could you hand Cheese an actual PhD, please? Sure, what study? Medicine? That's not what a PhD is, but sure. And so yeah. Okay. So the Profile Hell Device as a name originated before this, but it was originally just gonna be like a weird one-off gag that didn't really mean much. But in the rewrite, I decided to make it a more essential thing and decided to come up with what that actually meant. So there's that. It's like a weird, bizarro version of BFO or BFO Daily Dose episode 8. Okay. But yeah, this part is the most important thing about this version of the episode. So if you're gonna pay attention to anything, it's probably this part, because it's also why it was scrapped. So, well then, Doctor, what did you have to confess? It's just, this doctor office is very, very special. It holds ancient magical properties that could even outclass Forzical Craig's powers. I'm the only one immune to its strongest, most potent effect.
Which is...
Once you enter this building, every new memory you make in it is temporary. The second you leave, you won't remember anything that happened inside. This was to help with patients that had particularly grueling procedures. But unfortunately, the effect was overdone. I'll leave you with the scratch notes written on paper. You'll know that there was a competition here, and the order people were eliminated. And of course, you'll retain anything like muscle memory. But if there's anything, any moment you've been particularly attached to, any defining life moments, I'm terribly sorry, but you're not going to retain them.
Oh.
I could have Forzical Craig use his powers to keep little bits of the floor underneath you, hypothetically. That's what I did before. But then, eventually, he will falter. Whether it's sleep, someone taking his powers, something or another will cause his powers to dissipate for just a fleeting moment, and that's all it... I'm sorry that I'm not giving the best performance here. And that's all that it'd take. And at that point, you'd forget a lot more, and risk losing something more valuable. So I suppose it's up to you. Will you just take the fall now, and forget Daily Dose, and move on with your life? Or will you attempt to hold on for dear life? Don't worry, there's no wrong answer. Oh, I didn't think it'd come to this. And then Cheese crashes out on Alfonso. It's cool. I really like this. Because she's really tearing into him here. But I'm not going to read this part out. Because it's not particularly the most important thing here. But, yeah. Basically, all of the characters give their opinions on what they're going to do. So, they're like,
Guys, I'm scared of leaving. I've kind of made all of my memories inside of this place. So I don't know if I'm ready to just leave all that behind and become a completely different guy.
I guess that's true.
And then blushing emoji says,
Look, Doofus, your personality is liking Halo, and the doctor said it's baked into your DNA. You're gonna be fine.
and then... So, like, they start arguing, and then Forzical Craig's like, enough! Listen, I don't go to bed angry. All it does is just make you toil in all your negative emotions all day, and just makes you a worse, grouchier person. So if you've all got a bone to pick with each other, air it out till you're all done and ready to leave on a positive note, okay? God, now is everyone here and awake? So, yeah. And then they all give their biggest confessions. And,
Halo has been the nicest, sweetest thing to me all season. Thank you so much, Halo.
And what do you have to say, Halo? I have been the nicest, sweetest thing to Horn all season. Thank you so much, Halo. And... yeah.
Hello, I don't really know who most of you are. Does the memory thing even count for me? I'm a robot. It might not. Oh well. Oh, right, there's...
Or blushing emoji, original says.
Oh, right, there's a clone of me, because, of course, the one person who might be able to see eye to eye with me, also happens to be a reflection of my worst traits. Oh, the poeticism. Oh, the poeticism.
Did the code ever show any of those traits?
No clue.
Oh, blushing emoji, the real blushing emoji. I am but a clone, made for amusement, and little else. I suppose I should thank you for my existence, and yet I find it difficult to do so, because I've yet to find out why my existence is tied to you.
You and me both, buddy.
As a result, I think maybe I'd be better off not being you.
Huh?
I was thinking about it, and I don't really think I want to be blushing emoji anymore. Instead, I think I would like to be called, okay, what's a name that robots might use? I want to be called Bot.
Bro, that name sucks.
Oh, okay,
I'm a Orbot.
I don't really like that either, but it's good enough. Orbot, it is, I guess. Yay.
And yeah, they're really trying to like speed run through character moments. this is the other reason why I was scrapped. I think it just goes by a little too fast. Even though it was a longer episode than what we got, it's like it's very obviously just trying to cram everything in all at once, and I think that it kind of makes for a bit of a slapdash product that I think, again, I think it's a better finale to Daily Dose because it does wrap everything up, but I think it's a worse episode because it's just kind of, it's not paced in a way. Well, I guess the final version is kind of paced weirdly, but it's just like it's very crammed together. So yeah. Oh, but here's my favorite part, and then blushing emoji is like,
well, maybe I just wanted an excuse to be different. Maybe I just wanted, I don't know. I'm trying to do self-improvement, but this is hard. Especially when I'm just going to forget it in a few minutes anyways. What does it matter? I just want to accept myself as a person. And I think you're helping me do that.
And then there's a laugh track that plays, and blushing emoji's like,
Huh?
and then Pop Tart's like sings the most annoying song ever sung. He's like da 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 da.
And there it is! Wrap it up, folks! The final act, the final nail in the coffin. Congratulations to our one and only blushing emoji!
And then you clap, 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 clap.
This show has been a rousing success. See you next time, and perhaps we'll give it even worse characters some much-needed development, like Blue Snowball or Cody. Yay!
What? What's happening?
Blushing emoji, don't you understand? It was all part of the game. This is my most grand, most elaborate joke, getting you to start accepting yourself. And then blushing emoji takes out her gun. Oh, I've already planted the seeds of doubt too. See, I'm gonna need an extra few years of therapy for that one. It's so dark. I don't like. I think this is kind of funny, but it's so dark. It's like it makes Pop-Tart the cruelest character on the show. So I didn't end up going with this, but yeah, I was originally gonna just have it that what Pop-Tart said in episode 7 was just so disingenuous and mean-spirited. But I think it's a little too dark. I'm glad that I ended up scrapping that.
Orbot, thanks for being part of my plan. I knew you could do it ever since I first saw you in the dark room. What? What?
Doctor, I couldn't thank you enough. And then he gets shot.
Okay, don't worry, guys. We'll forget him very soon.
Forget who?
Now say you're sorry, Pop-Tart.
But I'm not. You gotta understand, Uncle. Everything I do is for the bit. Blushing emoji didn't get that. But now she does. And that's hilarious, isn't it?
I don't know.
And now I bow for the finale. My audience may officially laugh.
It's just the worst. So yeah. Okay.
Now, Pop-Tart, buzz off. It's my time to speak. Doof. Oh, Pop-Tart, why did Halo just do a mean thing there?
That just means he likes you.
And then that one like teardrop riff in BFE1 where like you know that one scene where it's like Book's like,
It may seem like the whole world is against you, but I'm on your side.
and then it like zooms in on teardrop while a little drum riff is playing. That's what this was. And that just means he likes you. And zooms in on Pop-Tart.
Look, Alfonso was my greatest ally throughout the game. Say whatever you want about him, but he had my back.
Well, we didn't have an alliance, but I would have really liked to consider Alfonso my friend. Apparently, that was false, because he's a selfish coward.
I'll kill you. No, Halo. Perhaps she's right.
See? He's just trying to say what I want to hear. This is exactly what I was saying earlier. Are you listening to yourself, Alfonso?
Jeez, I'm sorry. I just wanted the prize because I wanted out of a terrible situation and was briefly blinded by greed and thought I could use the doctor's speech as an excuse. I am truly, truly sorry.
I don't know how to respond, Alfonso.
I understand.
Which I guess in a way is kind of more redemption than what Alfonso gets in the final version. I like a lot of what this version of the episode does with Alfonso and Cheese, but again, it's long and requires a lot of extended focus. So unfortunately, just couldn't fit in the final version. Oh well.
Oh my god, I'm so bored. Can we just wrap this up so you guys can go home?
You guys? You mean what? You mean you're not going with?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, actually.
Fortunately for Timmy, this is a rather dangerous idea.
I don't really care. Before this, I just wanted to be Forrest Uncle Craig because that was the only possible idea of what to do with myself, so I don't want to go back to chasing that again because apparently the payoff isn't so good. And besides, Doctor, you've been the only person that's actually wanted to take care of me, so please, please, please take me in. I want to learn to be a doctor too.
Oh, perhaps it would be okay. I mean, I suppose you're going to grow into your powers still, aren't you?
Yeah.
So then, so is everyone ready to go then? I could maybe try to give you some floor under you at all times.
Wait, I'm not ready. Or I'm not ready.
Yeah?
I kind of had a good thing going with someone here.
Like romantically? Well, no, I think. But I don't know, I don't usually get along with people very much, so having, like, an actual friend is nice, and I'm kind of sad that I have to let go of that so soon.
Having to worry about other people's perception doesn't matter unless it's about me. Okay, Pop-Tart, I see how it is.
Pop-Tarts have feelings too, you know?
And so do I, so buckle up for the ride if you want to treat me like I don't.
Well, if I could speak. Oh, yeah, sorry. Look, Pop-Tart and this mysterious person, which I'm sure the camera would be on Halo because they're obviously talking about Halo here. Alfonso, Halo, Horn. Cheese and blushing emoji, maybe? Look, if these friendships really mean so much to you, if they really feel like they've developed, not because, or they've developed because of how you are as people, if they really feel strong enough to be worth being afraid of losing, don't you think they'd form again anyways, after you forget that they happened in the first time? I fumbled that. But whatever, you get my point. I like to think it doesn't actually take being forced together in terrible circumstances to form friendship. I don't know why I made Forrest Uncle Craig so, like, philosophical in this version of the episode. What the fuck?
What the Forrest Uncle Craig?
But he's just, like, spouting. He's, like, mouthpiecing for, like, very, like, high concept. So come on, live a little. And let them live with you.
That's beautiful!
Oh, any last-minute confessions on who replaced the PhD? I did it. High five!
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I guess Pop-Tart replaced the PhD with blueprints for the Profilely Hell device. Maybe Pop-Tart is responsible for the Profilely Hell device in the final version. That's not true. That's completely contradicted by canon, but it's funny. Wait, was the mysterious person garlic? What? No!
What? Wait, Halo, no. No, you can be my mysterious person anytime.
And then they just do that thing that Forrest Uncle Craig and Mr. E do together in BFO 7 where they're just like So, now, is everyone ready to leave the building?
I want the floor deal, please.
Oh?
Yeah, I don't know how I'll be as a cutie little mashed potato with no friends right outside the doctor's office. So I want to become a cutie little mashed potato later, when I've got someone to take care of me. Yay!
Sure thing. Anyone else? Okay. Well, if anyone has anything to say, let's go. Say your goodbyes.
Halo, I'm really gonna miss you, and I hope we become friends again. Ah!
Yeah, you too, dude. And yeah, so Cheese decides, because Garlic and Cheese won the season, she's gonna set an example and be the first person to leave the doctor's office. And that was going to be the end of De La Dose 8. So yeah. Okay, let me catch up on chat. Can I recommend a character? No, the season's over. The way you can do this all in one go is really impressive. I mean, I kind of gotta to do most of the episodes, because again, they're improv. Like, I gotta be able to just switch all these voices on and off to be able to do the improv for most of the episodes. But, yeah. Let's see. Pop-Tart is now my favorite. That's awesome. BFO YTP.
You gotta understand, fools, cook. Every thing I do is for the bit.
Does doing Cheese voice make my throat hurt? No. Blushing Emoji's voice makes my throat hurt. They are different. I know they sound similar,
but Cheese is a little bit more to the front of my throat, and she just sounds like this, but blushing emoji, she's a bit more in the back of my throat, and because she's generally louder, and she strains my voice a little more, she's probably the most, difficult character to do.
But
Horn, of course, really strains my throat if I keep doing it for an extended period of time, so Horn can really hurt my throat. And then Hair Tuft can also be really hard for me to do for extended periods of time for a similar reason.
so yeah. But yeah, so Socrates, Uncle Craig. Philosophical. Is Hairtuft German? I don't know. I think that the accent that I do for him is German. I think that's correct. But I'm not actually positive.
So, let's just go with the tentative yes. He's a little German.
But I don't know. I don't have nationalities for any of the characters or anything. I just do weird accents, and most of them sound American, obviously, or U.S. American, I should say. And in particular, I guess it's Midwestern. I don't really know what the specific accent is that I have, but that's what most of the characters are, obviously. A few characters have really obvious fake British accents like the Doctor and Noodle, but yeah. Maybe it is more Russian. I don't know.
9.
Can I have a raisin, of course? Of course you can, Jevelfan, T for T.
Or wait. No, that's Jellyfan L for T.
Of course you can, Jevelfan, L for T. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. For his Uncle Craig's list.
Yes. Okay. Now, I'll probably release the audio for this version of the episode as well with it, in case you want to listen to it like an audiobook for whatever reason. I don't know. I'll figure all this out later on what I want to release exactly. But we're about to move on to the next version of Daily Dose 8 that was briefly considered... that was actually made after the version that we got had already started animation. But this other version I had briefly considered moving the episode to a different medium, which was an RPG Maker game. But I will get to that in a minute. I need to use the restroom again. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Although I need to adjust my chair, so I'm gonna mute for a sec. Anyways. Okay. So, this last version of Daily Dose 8, that didn't make the cut. So, this one was pretty non-committal. I figured there was a very, very, very large chance that I wasn't going to make it, so I didn't put in a lot of effort just yet. I was just testing the waters, seeing how I felt about making it, because, you know, I didn't want to, like, commit a lot to something I was unsure about. I just wanted to see how the process felt to make, and then I would start making it if I felt comfortable with it as the direction of the episode, which, as you can see by the fact that I didn't end up going through with it, I didn't end up preferring it. Let me just get it ready. Okay, so because of what I just said, you're gonna have to keep in mind this is all placeholder assets. Nothing in this actually looks like BFO, and that's because I hadn't drawn basically any art for this. So you're going to see my placeholder looks for everything. This is not like going to look like BFO. It's just gonna look like generic RPG Maker stuff. Oh, wait, wrong window. Wrong window. Where is the game itself? It's just called Project 1. Here we go. Okay. So, it has, like, touch controls. I don't know how to disable those. So, but you can see we have no music because I hadn't put anything into this, and very awkward, like, control, like, feel to it, because RPG Maker normally works on a tile-based, like, grid movement system, but I have a plugin on this that makes it not like that, but it's a really awkward plugin. So there's some, like, jank with moving into corners, and everything's, like, a little weird. But yeah, so here we have garlic and cheese, Pop-Tart, Alfonso, Horn, and Halo. Oh yeah, everyone's Pop-Tart humies should look exactly like this. If anyone ever makes any human designs of Pop-Tart, they should always look exactly like this, because I definitely had in mind that this is what their human designs would look like. And this definitely isn't just, like, default RPG Maker characters. Except Pop-Tart, who I just mashed together a bunch of, like, stuff in the character creator for. So I think it would be like you would have Halo or whatever. I think at the beginning of the game it would just be like you playing as Pop-Tart, or maybe just playing as Halo, and you would have to, like, do something for Alfonso. This is placeholder text, so this is garlic and cheese, so you could see. This is the top half of Where's Uncle Craig. This is the bottom half of Where's Uncle Craig. I'm the Kill Halo guy. oh. And then Halo dies, and this was the placeholder graphic for a dead party member. And so, as you can see, Halo's dead. Because he encountered that kill Halo guy. And then... This was the HPRC. Not all of its functionality was implemented yet, but it does let you heal. Oh, this is the hallway, by the way. This is like the Daily Dose hallway, where you can see, this is the big like crater left behind by by planet Saturn, and then up here is the hallway. Like you could see all these doors. This leads to the dark room, which for all intents and purposes actually looks pretty accurate because it's the dark room. So yeah, even just the default placeholder assets looked pretty much right. So that's cool, I guess. And then this was for placeholder battle. I was probably shouldn't have put that as the placeholder name for the fight command, but whatever. Yeah, okay. This is the room where they do the eliminations and stuff. You can see the hospital bed, and this is where the bathroom is. This could have been Daily Dose 8, everyone. This could have been Daily Dose 8. This is exclusive content to the stream. I'm not putting this anywhere else because there's not enough here to justify putting anywhere else. But yeah, so then this was the other room, the purple room that they went in that one time. Did they go in there? I don't remember if that was actually used in the episodes or not. This is just a supply closet. This never was like in any of the episodes. And then that unused bathroom is also here. So yeah. Now this way leads to the elevator, just like in the final version that we see. And so, okay. The structure of the game. Let's talk about it. So there would have been 7 levels. So each time you'd go one floor down and you'd enter like a new area that's based off of an organ. Like the map design. Wait a lot. Let me see what I wrote down for this, because I did write down notes for what I would be doing that I think is maybe interesting. So let's see. All right. So the hospital. The hospital here would have been the first floor. Where's the architecture? Okay. So okay, so the office is like the main floor. So for reference, like this main. Why is it so laggy now? What? Did opening up Notepad really change that much that it's now getting really laggy? Hold on, let me close something or another so that I can maybe stop lagging so much. So the office was the main floor. That's like, where all of Daily Dose all of Daily Dose 1 through 7 take place, is the office as the floor name in this context. And then so then the like first level of the game effectively would have been the hospital. So the hospital is based off of the hand, the body part, the hand, and Pop-Tart would have been like the focus character of this section. He's the main character in this section. And what the game would have been like about thematically is whether consequences matter in an object show. Following up on Daily Dose 7. This would the hospital section would posit the idea that consequences do matter to the characters, because of the voters, you guys, power to determine their lives. You know, the same kind of thing that the Doctor Orb is preaching about in episode 7. None of these menus do anything. I hadn't done much for this. Then, the cesspit. It's still called the sewers here. I had a few like iterations where I was changing the name, and like the cesspit is what I ended up on, but I hadn't changed it in this menu. But yeah, so that's like when that's like for stuff that doesn't have like indoor plumbing, like a castle or something. That's where all the poop goes, you know. That's so yeah. Anyways, the cesspit was the name of the second floor. It would have been like a really gross sewery floor. Oh, I should mention actually the hospital. More about the hospital. That it would have had a lot of recommended characters. Like I would have grabbed from the recommended characters who didn't make it into Daily Dose, and I probably would have like used them as like the enemies throughout the hospital, and they're like previous patients of the Doctor Orb, who just never managed to escape. Ooh, that's scary. He's got like this weird back rooms behind his elevator, and it's like, ooh. So yeah, and then the hospital, I mean the cesspit, you know, would have been, you know, very 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 sewery, very gross, very grungy, and it's based off of the intestines. Like, you know, the layout of it would have been like intestines. And Alfonso would have been the focus character of that section, and it would have been arguing consequences don't matter for the contestants because of recency bias, that whatever they do now, current actions outweigh old ones, and infinite good actions will outweigh any bad actions in the context of an object show. So I think my thought process of including that was like, you know, in Vote to Save, usually a character will have like votes primarily dependent on what happens in that episode instead of like their performance on the entire show so far up to that point. So, you know, you'll have a character who doesn't, or like who's really broadly popular, but, you know, doesn't do much for an episode, so they just get eliminated anyways. Like Bubble in BFB 23. So recency bias applies for the consequences of their own actions in an object show. And then the third section would have been the afterlife. That's what it would have been called. Or maybe the false afterlife. It's not a real afterlife. They're not going to hell, actually. It's just another floor in the office. But it would have been modeled after the heart, and Garlic and Cheese would have been the focus character of this section because, you know, the aesthetic of it would have been, I think, very like, I guess either gray or red. I don't think I like solidified something, but it probably would have either been like Fire and Brimstone Hell or just like something Purgatory. Either way. So it would have been positing that consequences do matter to the contestants because other characters could refuse to bring them back. And if you are not impressionable enough, you could just be forgotten about. That's like, you know, you know that one BFDIA scene where they like get the people in the recovery center to not bring back Leafy? It's like that. Like, at the end of the day, these characters' lives are theoretically infinite, but they could be actionable enough to make other people, or other characters could theoretically be actionable or inactionable enough to make it so they don't get recovered and therefore don't live forever. So yeah. And then we have the fourth section, which I like, none of the rest of them are even written down from here, like on this menu. Why is there just a blank option? That's so weird. But it would have been just the For's Nephew Timmy, like little intermission section with the the exit's Uncle Timothy, with Four's nephew Timmy as the focus character of it. And I wrote down, consequences may or may not matter depending on the whims of the writer or their cruel god Force Uncle Craig. Why did I write that? But then the fifth section would have been the outdoors. Again, it's a false outdoors. It's not real outdoors. It's still in, like, Doctorb's weird elevator shaft. The focus character would have been Horn, and it would have been modeled after Lungs. And the idea is consequences don't matter if you don't care, and that something like an animal has no moral compass. This would have been likening Horn to an animal, that he really doesn't care about what other people do or do not do or think of him, so he just does it anyways. He's entirely hedonistic in this way, and that's effectively that would have been exploring, and how that applies to consequences. And then there would have been the core as, like, the last level, real level, and that would have been modeled after the brain. And that would have been positing that consequences, or this would have been Halo's focus section, I should say, and it's positing consequences do matter because the contestants' reality is shaped by consequences for their actions. So, like, you know, if the characters change something about their setting, that affects them. It's as simple as that, and that's what that kind of would have been positing. That, you know, things matter because they affect other things. Very simple idea, but that's what that section would have been about. And then the final section would have been the workshop, with both Alfonso and Garlic and Cheese as the focus characters, plural. And well, I guess Garlic and Cheese is focus characters, plural, already, but yeah. And that effectively was, like, they make it to the Doctorb's workshop, maybe final boss against the Doctorb, and that was about how consequences do matter for the characters because effectively they make it matter, that it means everything to them, and that's important, and that's what really matters, because, you know, your reality is what you make of it and all that. And that's effectively everything that was planned for this. There's technically, like, a piece of paper I have floating around somewhere that has, like, a little bit of level design concepts, but I don't know. Okay. Time to catch up with chat. Okay, there's only a few messages. Did you have any sprites of the characters? No, that's why they look like that. And will I ever make a community page for my channel? I don't know what that is. What, is that not just like a community tab, like where I post? But yeah, so I can talk a lot about why Daily Dose took a while to come out, but I am already seeing the concurrent viewer counts dwindling, so I'm not sure it's really worth talking about that. Or maybe it is, because that would give something to talk about to keep people interested, but either way, I have already been streaming for a few hours, and I might want to wrap it up very soon. Will I still make BFO, or is it a no? Yes. There are at least 2 more episodes to make for BFO. BFO 9 and BFO 10 are confirmed. They will absolutely happen, as you can see here. So yeah, I think that... Wait, was the stream updating? What? Okay, there, yeah, the stream was updating. Alright, cool. Okay, so... In any case, that's at least the 90% of what was, like, what existed but was scrapped of Daily Dose 8 in all of its previous incarnations, including some stuff I had totally forgotten about. So, I hope you had a lot of fun exploring what could have been, and maybe even like these concepts more than the final episode, and that's fine. I knew when I was writing what we ended up with that it was going to be controversial, and yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, and that's okay. But no, the characters aren't dead, they just turned into profiles, but as the episode explains, you know, the profile hell device naturally drifts towards the profile setting when taken off of it. So, you know, the tone of the world is going to go back to what it usually is, and you know, that's that. So yeah.
Here's some of the raisins I have left over.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. And if you've stuck around for a lot of the stream, that's especially thank you. But anyone who's here right now, thank you. It means a lot to me that I can make this show that is ultimately just me messing around and doing weird things, and have people not only watch, but care enough to ask questions. So, thank you. A lot. And I'll see you in BFO 9.